This is the new melee MOA, the one with the knight. I don't even know how to say this. Nychus? Nychus MOA model? That's the melee one. Let's find the other one. I've spawned two. Hopefully the other one stands in better lighting. There is one main drawback with this MOA is that once it starts meleeing, it just doesn't seem to leave that state until the enemy basically dies. Or you move so far away from it that it teleports to you. Simply because it has it has an ability that lets it jump onto the enemy, gets a bunch of overshield, and then the other preset is just replace your shooting with kicking of enemies within 10 meters. Guess what? He's going to make sure they're staying within 10 meters. And I farmed up all of Protea and just decided to rush the final bits. All of the parts took the 12 hours to build, and then I'm like, I'll set Protea to cook and then go to sleep. And it was like, oh well, I guess I'll rush it then, cause it's like 8 hours have passed and the cost didn't go down. I thought the cost would go down by like 1 or 2 plats. But yeah, Protea also doesn't have a limit on her 1 grenades. So earlier when I was in a mobile defense mission, it was just boop. This was basically the entire mobile defense room. It was just grenades everywhere. The other thing you can do is that since the number is limited pretty much on duration and your energy, I was actually messing around with there was a you can block off doors pretty easily, and since the stagger value is pretty high. Let's see. Rather, it normally staggers. Yeah, normally it does that. For some reason, he managed to make it in without getting staggered. And then they got kicked off the map. I basically stun locked anyone who tried to go into their doors. So it was funny for a while, and then it's like, you know what, there's really nothing to do, and my team had to scatter around, and some of them decided to go a little further than needed to, so we all lose XP from it. And the turret actually has a really short time, and it's at the I can't seem to increase the firing arc other than just leveling up. but the number of rounds it actually fires is basically dependent on duration. And it basically doesn't have a kind of like it has a minimum duration of like 2 to 3 seconds, but it's more likely that it's gonna run out of plasma ammo before you actually finish the it actually times out. Though I do notice that for some reason it seems to not always fire all of the bullets. That one time it did. The other time when I was in the pug doing a mobile defense, it was a corridor full of enemies. It fired like 4 times and then stopped, when it can fire at least like 8 times. So I'm not sure what was going on there. But it is more of an emergency weapon, not a I don't think it should be something you can build around. So it seems to prioritize spreading the damage out. Rather than focusing one target. Or as you saw earlier, it was firing on two at a time, unless you can only find one target. And the dispensary, I don't know what to feel about it, because the duration is long enough that you can get a bunch of stuff out of it. And it's like increased power strength, so basically it drops X amount of stuff it drops a random thing every couple of seconds. And then it's like, hey, these are random chance to get additional loot. So you saw there were 2 ammo packs instead of 1. I think it's like rolling for a chance to get more items every second. That's what it feels like anyway. But yeah, like basically the first half of it drops stuff, the other half is just like eh. Do have a decent duration in this thing, so this is like that's the first 3. And then it's just like, oh, it rolls. I think it rolls for additional chance. See, it's not dropping. I think it dropped another energy orb earlier instead of whatever, a regular health orb or something. Yeah, so very like it's like I have extra duration on this thing. It looks like that. So you know you would expect that all over the 35.8 second it would keep dropping stuff. No, it's just literally the first like 5-ish seconds, and then just use additional power strength to boost the crit drop chance. Kind of eh. I think these health orbs, it gives 50. I don't know how much it actually gives. So there you go, there's the 3, and then oh look, and the extra energy orb about 10 seconds in. 15 seconds in, yeah. So I think it's literally just going to be use it for the first 3 drops, and then maybe another 5 seconds, or you just spawn another one. Cause that was the 4th drop and that was it. Maybe a high power strength build, so right now it's got 46% chance to drop additional things. It gets 100% power strength when you have Hmm. Actually, that's a lot less than I was expecting. That's 1 energy orb, 2 energy orbs. Seems to drop. Actually, it seems to drop a lot, 1 of each, every single time. I should probably lock this down later. Yeah, 1 of each, and then... And then... nothing else. Yeah, like, duration for Dispensary doesn't really do much. Oh look, a 4th item, but that's, like, uncommon. 2 health orbs. 2 energy packets. Just 25 energy. Or rather, I think it's only 25 energy because... oh, there's 75 total. Yeah, Dispensary just... if you have a Warframe that can it's... the only thing that this frame adds to what we already have is... it can supply everything plus ammo. But you can have Trinity to do the health and shield plus overshield. Plus health orbs. And you can have Oberon with armor and heals. Wisp for heals and on extra health. And now explode. Yeah, so this one is just dependent on how much damage you dealt from start to finish. Oh, I need to actually verify what damage type it is first. I feel like she's gonna be strength and duration based, probably. Since her Dispensary, they doesn't really drop much more other than the 3. With just nothing attached to it. With just, yeah, just duration on that thing doesn't really help. Strength on the Dispensary is fine. Turret's fine. Turret's fine with, should be about any build other than negative duration. But I don't think she works well with negative duration in the first place. Turrets. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a power strength duration setup and maybe a bit of range if you can squeeze that into. And then the rest is just making her durable. Because this increases your base shield amount, I think, and heals and just constantly heals your shield up until it reaches the overshield limits of 1200. And the damage, yeah, I think she's gonna be a duration strength setup more than anything else, because she can more kind of supply herself with energy, ammo, and health. Kind of sustain herself, not quite the best. And also, I love this animation where she plays with the grenade. And yes, she's colored like this because I hit random. I just hit random. I think I'm gonna remove the green for something else, probably gold or something. But she puts it away. And it's like there's nowhere for, like on the model, to actually have a grenade. Because this is her turret on her back. And that's a dispensary on her back. So where do you hold your grenades? Like Volban just has it all over his body. Yeah, that's kind of it for Protea. Interesting, but I don't think she's particularly meta-defining. Probably good for really long runs for utility due to ammo restoration. And the possibility of scaling up her turrets with just hitting enemies in the corridor in like a survival mission, or any mission that that you can hold out in a corridor. But aside from that, like her 2 is good for group kind of clearing and a bit of control. Her 1 is also clearing and control. Her 4 is a get out of jail free card. And her 3, it just feels underwhelming. Because it's guaranteed 3 pickups. But since I buffed my duration all the way to almost 36 seconds, the 3 pickups spawns in the first like 5 to 6, no, I think like 8 seconds or so. So once that drops, you might randomly generate a 4th one, and that's kind of it after like another like 10 seconds. So I think they can lower the duration on this thing, and if you increase the extra pickup chance, that would be nice. Or if they're going to have the duration, then maybe after, let's say they generate the first 3 pickups in the first 5 seconds, and then every 5 seconds afterward it has additional chance to drop, it will spawn another one. So rather than 3 in the base one, it would be 3 in the first 5 seconds, and now you have 15 seconds left over, so you can generate another 3 items. And if you have the extra pickup chance the same, that would be okay maybe. So in my case, I would have generate the 3 at the beginning. That's 30 seconds left over. It drops an additional 6 items. I think that would be decent. Oh, implosion damage is blast. Okay. But yeah, pretty good. I think she's more of a defensive frame and just point hold. If you want to use her aggressively, I think you could with the 1 and 2, with the grenade and the artillery, but don't rely on too heavily on the artillery. Well, artillery might be better than grenade if you're going aggressive and just moving around all the time, because it auto aims. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it for now.